Bosu Ball got you bummed out? Come with me and I help you find out how to fix it. Here's an assortment of tools that we're going to use. You're familiar with this one. It's a butter knife. You may have one of these, a painter's 5-in-1 tool. Either one of these should work fine. Some sort of a socket or a wrench. This is a 3/8 socket on the tip. And you can also use a 3/8 open end wrench or close end. First things first, set the tools out of the way. Let's slide our Bosu ball over. It still has air in it, so we need to deflate it just a little bit. Have to get this bottom section. There's the top with the texture. Let's get enough to get the bottom section so it can be sit flat. I'm going to wedge the flat edge, the non-serrated edge of the knife underneath this plastic plug, and I'm going to kind of twist and pull up as I push down on the blue rubber plastic. I'm going to try to pull this little white plug and pop it out. Of course, don't cut yourself. Once you get it out a little way, pry it up. Once you get it out a little bit, you can see it protruding there. You can get your fingers around it or get a small pair of pliers to pull it up the rest of the way. We'll see if I can do it with my fingers. There we go. Pulled the plug. Don't lose that. We're going to let some air out. Doesn't necessarily need to be completely flat, but we want the base to sit flat on the bottom of this balloon or the ball. So let's get rid of most of the air. Okay, taking a lot of air out. Let's put the plug back in. I'm only going to push it in about halfway because we're going to have to pull it out again for inflating. As you'll see, the plug goes in this hole right here. And we need to remove this outer ring that spins. And if you look on two sides, you'll have a nut on this side. And the head of the bolt here, it's attached to this plastic base. So you only need to be concerned about loosening and tightening this nut. Take your socket or your crescent or your open end wrench and loosen this counterclockwise. There we go. I'm going to take that nut all the way off. We're going to go to the other side here. We're just going to loosen this side. We're not going to take it off completely. Set the base down. We're going to spread on this end. We're going to open up the clamp. We're going to put the balloon or the ball on the base. Feel around the edges to center it on that base. ball on the base centered. Important that you get it centered. And now tuck. If you can see right here, I'm going to start by pushing my fingers and tucking this top ribbed edge underneath the clamp. And I'm going to work my way out while pushing the clamp together on the other end. It definitely does not want to cooperate. Let's try getting this end started. I'm going to tighten the nut just a little bit so it doesn't come apart. Now, as you can see, it's just starting to fit underneath that edge. And it's these ribbed parts here that we're going to try to put underneath the edge of the clamp. So we're going to work around on one side, pushing those ribs down. Getting to the end of this clamp. Okay, there's one side. It really popped in too. That one side really popped in, if you can see that right there. That's what it's going to look like when it's finished. These spots are real close. It's real close here. Now I'm going to work on this end. Pushing this ribbed edge down. Pushing that clamp, trying to close the clamp as I push this edge down. I'm beginning to think I may not have let enough air out, because now the bubble, the ball on the top is, yeah, I think I need to let a little more air out. I'm going to turn it over. We have access to the hole here. I'm going to pull it with my fingers because I left it mostly open. We're going to let a little more air out. Okay, put the plug back in, just about halfway, partial way, flip it over. Let's see it again. We have one side that's complete, mostly complete. Got a little pop out here. This end of the clamp is not completely tight, but it's close. And I'm going to keep moving around here to pop this into the clamp in. Working just 1 inch at a time. Slowly feed that edge. We're working around here. We're getting to the end. And pow. You see there? Yeah, you can see right there. Right here. I'm going to pop that together. It's as if I need to put pressure on this clamp, squeezing them together while I go around the edges again and ensure that that little lip is pushed down. I believe once I get all of them in, it's going to clamp together real nice. This is taking a bit of pressure. So if it seems hard, don't give up. It does take some strength. You really need to get this piece together right here. Just enough that the bolts can get through and I can get a nut on it. If I can get the nut started, then I'll be able to clamp the rest with a wrench. Now I'm moving around as I squeeze this in together. And again, ensuring that all these little edges are popped in to the clamp. I'm thinking maybe if I loosen the other end a little bit, because this is the part that's open. This is the other side of the clamp. It's pretty tight. So I'm going to loosen that. There we go. And I think by loosening that, I may be able to close this in. At least enough to get the nut started. Because that's really all I need. Oh, there we go. Try hitting it. Yeah, that's slowly squeezing together. There we go. Just enough of the threads poked through that I can get this nut on there. And we'll get it started. Not cooperating. There we go. Okay. So about 1/8 of an inch gap here. It's not tight. And I want you to look at this edge where the ball meets the clamp. And you want to make sure you don't have any buckles. You don't see any of those ribs. You don't see any of that ribbed edge sticking and protruding above. See, you have some here. This is interesting. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if we can get the angle. The angle right there. Right here, we've got a big gap. So I'm going to push on the back and on the front and try to push that in there. There we go. All the rest of the joints look great. So now, it's just a matter of tightening the two clamps, the two nuts. That one's snug, hand tight. We'll do this side hand tight. Okay, that one's hand tight. And I think we just need to inflate it. And we've got a brand new ball. I'm going to put my wrench on the socket and I'm going to give it an extra, how many? 1 turn maybe? Just barely snug. Definitely don't over tighten it because this is there's plastic and there's not a lot of force on this clamp, not a lot of force trying to push it open, so there's no need to over tighten. I'm actually going to loosen this one up and line it up a little better. There we go. Yeah, perfect. Nice and snug. Not too tight. Don't over tighten it. Now, the last bit is refilling the air. Here are two options for a balloon pump. Has a little pointed tip at the end. Balloon pump. I think this one's a little bit cheaper version. We're going to pull the plug. I'm going to stick the tip in there. It's a perfect fit. Recommended pressure is unknown. We're going to call that good. You got to pull it out and stick the plug in really quick. This time plug goes in all the way. Once you've confirmed it's the It's the pressure that you want it. I think this might be too full. I'm going to let a little air out. I'm pushing the plug all the way in, and I think we're set. And that concludes our Bosu Ball repair tutorial. Now get to work.